Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here, time for another playbook episode. We're going to be adding another 3 o'clock wrap on Titan, but this time we're not going to be shocking the right side shock launchers. Let's boom this beach! So we're in Turtles. This is a newer, relatively new Chinese player to Turtles. He's been in the #1 Chinese team, I believe. We're just going to let the attack roll through, and then we'll break it down afterwards. So great landing here, as you can see. Just going to keep it in 2 times for the walk. So having a player from the Chinese, one of the top Chinese task forces is really beneficial. You sort of start to see the different tactics that they use. This hit is a little bit nuts, so you're going to have to keep your eyes open. So let's just break it down. Just want to slow it down, sorry. And you'll see that he didn't shock the shock launchers off to the right. And that is just nuts. So great hit over here. Just did insane damage on the core. Gave him enough GBE probably for a second round of battle orders or the critters and clearing mines and all that sort of stuff. Whereas if he was shocking that shock launcher, it would have definitely held him back. So let's break it down a little bit more. So you can see that on the beach here there's a laser beam. Does clear these mines on the inside. That's going to be the same for the standard wrap. It's going to be, the Zookas are going to be parking in the same spot, so we've got to remember to do that before we go. Using that smoke just for that laser, nice flare land, and then anchor before we go for a mid flare. I like it. And then all we're looking at is basically a straight line path. So where these 2 power cells are on the beach, that's by that right power cells where we want to go. And then our mid flare point is right there, between these rocket launchers and cannons. And then we can flare up to the cell that's in the shock launchers 9 o'clock. That's going to avoid these boom mines, which is great, and it's going to let the hero brick in this case just get to a position where she can stop and the Zookas can catch up. So from that position, yep, we did pop off 1 boom mine, not too worried about that. If you are concerned and you have the GBE, sure, you can pop it off with an ARP before you go. Flare, so once the Zookas are arriving at this last spot, you don't want to dawdle for any longer than you need to. You want to be flaring onto the machine gun. As soon as that first load of Zookas are getting there, you want to flare straight on. Sort of what do you call it? It's sort of just like you've got to do it not so early that all your Zookas go into these boom mines and just go way too wide and you have to smoke crazy wide. But not so late that the Zookas get to the flare and then spread out looking for targets. So just get it right in the middle there and you'll be good. Flare up onto that machine gun and then get the next smoke biased that it covers where they're parking. So you can see right now they're going to park basically between the machine gun and the sniper tower and spread along in a bit of a line. We did pop 1 mine, but that is all good. It's not going to cost us any Zookas. And then we're flaring onto the core. So as soon as the Zookas have settled, you can flare onto the core. And now you're just looking for your shocks. The shocks that we're going to be doing are these 3 machine guns. These 3 machine guns. The flamethrower is going to be out of range, but if that was a machine gun, then we would shock that in like a 4 in a line shock. No, so these 3 machine guns, you definitely need a shock. Sometimes these sniper towers are not sniper towers. And the critical reason that we're not going to shock this shock launcher, this defense, the sniper tower that's at 3 o'clock just above the building damage statue, has to be a sniper. Otherwise you have to shock the shock launchers. So you get the shock on the machine guns either side, above and below your Zookas. Obviously need to shock all of these rocket launchers right down here. And the reason that we don't have to shock this shock launcher, these shock launchers, is because this sniper tower and these shock launchers are going to be targeting the same Zuka, because they're both on the right hand side of your troops. So the closest Zuka is going to be the same. So the shock launchers are going to target the closest Zuka. It's going to be the same as the sniper tower. The sniper tower fires faster. So what's going to happen is the shock launcher targets the Zuka, sniper tower takes it out, shock launcher has to retarget. And each time the sniper tower takes it out before the shock launcher can fire, and the shock launchers are just retargeting, retarget the whole way through. So all you need to do is shock the splash damage in range. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 shocks in this case. Usually will be that. If you have shock launchers on the other side, you just have to check their range and take a bit of a risk. You could throw critters in here, but if you're not shocking these shock launchers, that's going to be a little bit riskier, because the Zook... No, it should be okay, because the shock launcher will fire at the critters and then they'll come back, look for this closest Zuka, and it should just continue on from there. But yeah, crazy tactic here. The shock launchers just don't know what to do. Just retarget, and the whole time they just don't fire at all. If you do have GBE, throw that extra battle orders at the as soon as the first one runs out, or just before, because you're only going to have because the battle orders only last less than 10 seconds and your shocks last 10 seconds, so you want to get it out probably after 3 seconds, and then you're going to be fully covered, because those machine guns are going to mow your Zukas down pretty quickly. So yeah, let's have another look. We'll look at the next attack on it, which did take it down. I believe this is Chase's account, I'm not quite sure. So let's have a look. Probably using the same landing, nice flare, group up on the beach, mid flare, using that flare at the 9 o'clock of the shock launcher. And then you'll see as soon as the Zukas are getting there, flaring on up. Got the Zukas all covered under one smoke. Then he's going to fire out 1, 2, 3, 4 shocks, leaving the shock launchers on unshocked again. And same thing again, the sniper tower is just taking out those Zukas that the shock launcher is trying to target, and down goes the core. So great hit. This is only going to work if there is a sniper tower in that position, and it's only going to work if you don't shock that sniper tower. So if you accidentally hit like the 4 in a line shock and you hit that sniper with the shock, it's obviously not going to take out any Zukas. If it doesn't take out those Zukas, the shock launcher is still going to target. It's just going to fire, because its target is still there to fire it. So great hit, very situational dependent. Make sure that sniper tower is there if you're going to try this, otherwise it won't work. And yeah, it's pretty risky. I mean, it would scare me not shocking a shock launcher that's in range, but apparently it works, so give it a go. Hopefully it works out for you. Give us a comment in the comment section down below if you take out Titan any differently, if you really enjoy this wrap. I just think this attack is crazy, just nuts. I love it. I love finding out new attacks and new techniques. So yeah, give us a thumbs up for the live video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach.